Hi, this is Brian Andres from Drum Magazine. This is the Afro-Caribbean practice pad lesson. Clave as an accent pattern, part 2, the next step. If you saw part 1, clave as an accent pattern, we were talking about the 5-note rhythmic structure clave as a triple meter pattern. So just to remind you what that sounds like, I'll play that 5-note pattern. Here's a pulse. This is example 1. If we're thinking in triplets, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Okay, so that's our 5-note rhythmic cell, clave. In lesson 1, we took that pattern and we built some sticking patterns around it using the actual 5 notes as our accent pattern. We're going to do that again today, but before we start to construct those patterns, there's a couple things we should go over. As a technique, one of the things you're going to find that we use in this lesson is double strokes with the accent on the second note. So example 2 is going to sound like this. Doubles with the accent on the second note. All right, so as we build some more complex sticking patterns, the accent, unlike the first lesson, which was always a right hand or then the next measure a left, we're going to start combining the right and left accents in the measure. So sometimes you're going to find that that accent's going to fall on the second note of a double. So that's a really good technique to practice before you get into some of these other examples that we do. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our 5-note pattern, which is in 1 measure of triplet, and we're going to alternate that accent pattern. So we're just playing clave, but we're going to alternate our hands playing it. So here's our pulse. We're in triplet, right to left. All right, so you notice it took 2 measures to get through that entire phrase. The first measure, my right hand is starting, and then it flips to the left hand. So I'll play that one more time. Second measure, back to the first. All right, so that's just the accent pattern as we're alternating right to left. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add the ghost notes in between those accents, and that's going to create a cool little sticking. So that should be example 4, and it's going to go like this. All right, so we have a 2-measure phrase there. Accents as the clave, right hand, left hand, alternating. Okay, exercise 5 is where I'm going to take that same 5-note pattern, but we're going to alternate doubles instead of singles. So my right hand will play 2 notes, my left hand will play 2 notes as we go through the 5-note clave pattern. It's going to sound like this. All right, that gives us a 4-measure accent pattern. You're actually playing 4 measures of clave using the doubles as the accent pattern. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and add the ghost notes back in, keeping our doubles, alternating doubles as the accent pattern. It's going to sound like this. Should be exercise 6. All right, so we have example 7 is going to give us a paradiddle. So we've added single, double, and now we're going to use a paradiddle as the accent pattern. So this is actually going to give us 8 measures altogether, 8 measures of triplet. So you'll be playing the clave 8 times. It's going to take that much time to get the paradiddle to resolve itself back to the beginning. So without any ghost notes, the paradiddle accent pattern is going to sound like this. This should be example 7. All right, so that's 5 entire paradiddles subdivided over that 5-note pattern of clave. So now we'll add our ghost notes back in, keeping the accent pattern as paradiddle. And here's your new 8-measure phrase. Should be example 8. Just like I did in lesson 1 on this series, you can take these sticking patterns and apply them to the entire drum set. I'll go ahead and take the accents and I'll move to the cymbals with the bass drum, keeping the ghost notes the same as they are on the snare drum. You can do something like this. All right, so thank you very much for joining us here at Drum Magazine. This is the Afro-Caribbean practice pad lesson. See you next time.